Hello, family. So, guided to give you guys a message. I have like zero data on my phone. Basically, you and your distorted significant other. We'll start off. This message is for you, but we can dip into them as well. Basically, you have been carrying a crazy load because of something that they had done to sabotage the connection, the commitment, the relationship. And you've been carrying this burden for years, okay? But this spring, you are finishing up a rebirth, which is turning into self-love. And you're starting to feel more abundant. You're starting to feel like you have more opportunities. You're starting to look at things in a different perspective. Instead of being really negative, or maybe you were taking on their negativity, or you were feeling really down because you were around someone who potentially was really nasty towards you, and you felt like you couldn't be yourself, you couldn't really open up because you were being constantly bombarded with someone looking for flaws, or a lot of people around you just constantly looking for your flaws. And basically the gist is the universe wants you to know, like, we get thrown different curveballs in life, but it's not time for you to give up. Maybe you cannot see what is unfolding in front of you. I'm here to help you with that. Keep the faith. Definitely understand that there will be justice. Okay, let's move on to the so how I was looking at it in many ways, but basically the dolphin spirit, this and that are true. So maybe there was a full moon ritual, say the full moon in reverse, completion. They might have done a full moon ritual for abundance. This card means abundance, like wish fulfillment, abundance. And you performed a cord cutting. So that ritual for abundance did not bear fruit for whoever was doing these dark rituals, okay? Caution, right? They thought it could have even been a death ritual. You could be targeted. This is kind of negative, but this is the message I'm getting, and I just got to relay it, It's saying caution here. So what I'm getting is they, potentially were doing rituals off of your energy. And so you're feeling really drained and really apprehensive and confused. It says, be fearless and bold. You are so drained and being so harassed that you are actually like not confident in being yourself and being bold, because that would be like you're looking for attention, or, whatever it is. We're dealing with, bots that are unable to create for themselves, right? So they were siphoning off yours. You were their power, right? They were astral projecting, they were projecting their negativity onto you, and you were reflecting love and light, and this created a big challenge for you. But it did give you a lot of wisdom, So this card means like you feel like protective of yourself, but you're not. You made it so far. You're at the 9. The 10 is the end, right? So you're almost there. So you're not supposed to just throw in the towel. That's part of the journey. That's part of the stress. And it says life is a mystery. So you may not know. Number 6 might mean something. Number 4 might mean something. And number 20 might mean something. But basically, you're not supposed to know all the answers, because maybe things have turned to me, like, who knew that you'd be with someone doing rituals on you, right? So basically, and feeling so apprehensive when you thought you had wish fulfillment. But this has created a huge weight on you. So, it's time for you to nurture yourself. This is another thing that I got from this card, is like, look at the big picture. What are you in a situation that you can feel like you can grow in? Like, forget about all the other things. Like, your soul isn't measuring money. Your soul isn't measuring a lot of things that we measure here on the 3D realm. And, do you feel free enough to be who you are, to create what you want? Do you feel supported in that? Do you feel like you're around people where, energies that you can thrive in? Conference call. I made this card. It's like, whatever messages, downloads you get from the Most High, no one knows, right? No one understands your journey. So if you're not supposed to give up. You're not supposed to just, give up on your commitments, give up on everything. So when I got this, it's spy. But I feel like this spy is actually like, if you've been slandered, lied on, painted into something you're not, so someone else can try to take your position, your kids, your husband, your wife, your job, your position, right? That you've worked hard for, you're not supposed to just give up, right? So don't worry about what other people think you should do, Listen to what your guidance is. And it's really important because a lot of times people, can really misguide you. And maybe this is what happened with your significant other or your job. They could have had some liar at work, make up lies about your work or your lack thereof, or just make up stories about you to prevent you. And so whatever your goal is, whatever you're looking for, my advice to you is, nurture yourself. What is the most nurturing to you, to your family, for your growth, and for the people around you? And you have to be honest. Like, for instance, if you have to set some boundaries. If there's people like around in your circle that you don't see are good for you or for your partner or for your kids, or you have to make some bold moves, because if you don't nurture, then you're not going to get to grow. It's actually life or death. And the good news is say if someone lied on you and you lost your job, just not projecting, just saying, because you're dealing with someone who's projecting, putting, black magic, stealing your ideas, stealing your energy, stealing your abundance, whatever it is. Just know God, the Most High, the universe, Allah, whoever whoever your higher self, whatever you subscribe to, he or she is watching everything, okay? So they trust your heart, trust the guidance, trust you, and when you give yourself love, for some reason, I don't know why, the Page of Cups, I don't know why I'm like drawing like a blank, but it's like, I feel like it's like a flirty, young, exciting, new growth of love, of offering. It could be a small offering, but it is something, and trust in divine detours. Maybe this little innocent gesture can actually, maybe you're supposed to give this to yourself, but like whatever has gone on, it's for your growth. It's for whoever around you. It is for their growth, no matter how heinous, okay? This can get real dark when we're talking about like moon rituals and stuff. So I want to be honest with you. Trust that this is happening for you, not to you. And then I made this one, humiliation ritual. Maybe they've been doing humiliation rituals on you, your ops, your crazy ops, like just wanting to just make you out to be, maybe you were humiliated so many times, but you know what? So what? You're human. You know what I'm saying? If someone maybe orthodox, very religious, like if the way they look at things is like, oh, that person's sick, then they're bad. If you're practicing something different, this is what I'm getting. So like maybe they wanted you to look a certain way so you didn't get that position, that partner, that connection, whatever it is, or that job, right? So the they made you want to hide basically, but you know what? With this humiliation ritual, they thought maybe they put you alone, but what that did was give you a sanctuary. You found a space of peace, a space of calm in your own energy. What a blessing. And you found a place to be patient with life, the flow of life. I also have Frankenstein, so it could be like, energy vamps, right? Just wanting to, if you're stressed, if you have to go away, they're pulling on your energy, keeping you confused. But this is all for you. Once again, you didn't lose anything. You didn't lose any time. Maybe you felt like they wanted you to like be stuck in a room, lying on you, making the whole community, the whole family, the whole workplace, whatever, making you feel outcasted, giving such a small little offer, making you feel humiliated. And, yes, that's a confirmation that, Maybe that's the truth, but it actually is working for you. You're not maybe you thought, wow, if I don't get out and do something, my whole life is going to pass me by, or, you know, whatever efforts you make, they didn't come to fruition. You know, whatever you were doing, it was never acknowledged, appreciated for our cops, never, you know, and this is on purpose because, you know, what are you doing this for? Do you live for what other people think, or do you live for what you think and what the Most High thinks? What makes you, if you know you did a good job, you made a good meal, but everyone else is like, ugh, there's too much salt, or someone else like put a big load of salt in it after when they're serving it. You know, you could be dealing with some really shifty people, shifty energies, I should say. I wouldn't call them people. There is justice. There is justice. There is healing. It's time to heal for you and the people around you. Snake spirit, you could be dealing with a snake. They could have been calling you a snake. But they're not self-aware. So whatever they're calling you, just know that's who they are, especially when you know who you are. Number 55 or 35 might mean something. 16 might mean something. I don't have my glasses on, sorry. Summer solstice, radiance. So you will be getting justice. I believe everyone will be getting justice over the summer, which is really exciting. And it's interesting because I asked, when will this happen? When will this justice occur? It says within 3 weeks. And there's a lot of cards in this deck that do not give exact like that. So I've been pulling this and it keeps coming. So within 3 weeks, you're going to have a lot of answers. And then I have this one, Silence of the Lambs. It's like it puts the lotion in the basket or else it gets the hose. That's what I think of, like that creepy guy with her skin, and he's kind of a psychopath, right? So what I believe is, you know, if you're dealing with a psychopath, you know, it's time to manifest make it more funny, make it more light. Don't take things so heavy. Maybe you should watch that movie. It's kind of crazy, or even American Girl, that song is from that movie, because there's a lot of things we could pull from these cards. So maybe Silence of the Lambs, American Girl, you could be an American Girl. It's time for you to, you know, American girls love the summer, you know, like that's our biggest, if you're American watching this, you know, that's our best time. So maybe it's time for you to manifest, which is why I'm getting this, the luck that you want. You know, we're a combination of light and dark. It's time for you to create the narrative, the story. This is your book. This is your chapter. Don't allow other people's lies and manipulation, you know, to dictate your journey. You know, this journey, we're all here to heal. We're all healing. It's not like I'm better than you. You know, I don't even like using the word chosen one or this or that. It's like, we're all one. We're all part of this. We're all part of this earth. And make the decisions that are most nurturing for you, for the planet, for everyone. Because when you make those decisions, it could be the slightest decision as drinking one more glass of water per day, being more, you know, conscious of how much water you're drinking. That could change. That has a ripple effect, to be totally honest with you. So these decisions are way bigger. These little ones actually add up and bring you a lot more abundance of what you want. So yeah, what I'm getting is this summer is the time for you to manifest the narrative that you want. The justice is always going to come. The scales always need to balance at one point or another. That's how this universe works. And finally, the Fool. You know, it's time to take a leap of faith and find home within. You know, maybe you don't know where you're going to go or how things are going to work out. But, you know, home is always like within your body, balancing your root chakra, balancing your solar plexus chakra. When you cut those cords, right, all this stuff can come into balance. And it takes a lot of strength to actually literally do that trust fall. It's a trust fall, baby. Sorry, I'm the worst singer, but Pink, I love you. You know, close your eyes and leave it all behind. Move forward, you know, let go of what has happened, because all of this is for you to grow strong. Maybe you're going to the mountains. Maybe someone's going to the mountains, you know? And you know what? Maybe you just learned your purpose. Maybe you just learned your purpose in life. You could be a curse breaker. You know, maybe they called you a witch because you might like tarot like me. Maybe they called you things if you're dealing with hyper, really religious people, and that we love them. I love them. I love everyone, to be honest with you. And I have so much gratitude for everyone. My haters. If I didn't have my haters, I would not get to learn that I break curses, that I can see what energy is legit. I can see what energy is false. You know, what's real. And then communicate as to what you've learned. It's not about talking shit about anyone. You know, we're all here learning and growing. This is like, you know, what school did you go to? Which I have, you know, I have deep respect for everyone who has these accomplishments. But I also have this deep feeling of like, you know, getting this wisdom, right? Learning from each experience, which creates more hope, which, yes. Any ladybugs, guys? Ladybugs might mean something. Number 23, number 37, and number 31. 4. Lots of 4s. 4 I'm seeing. 4 of Cups, 4 Wombat Spirit, and now luck. 31, 3 plus 1 is 4, okay? Luck is on your side. And I'm so proud of you guys. You have no idea. I feel so blessed to be able to read for such powerful, within the next 3 weeks, guys, such deep, such loving, such nurturing people that hold on to their commitments, that keep the faith, that still keep their patience and love and light, understanding that we have burdens sometimes, we have sadness sometimes, things don't always work out as we see it, but it's always, you know, honestly, better than I could ever imagine. Even in the times, I want you to look at the little things. If things are really bad, I want you to think of what you're grateful for. Put the burden down. You didn't create this burden, okay? You didn't manifest it. You know, this is all here just for us to learn and to find more place, more love, learning more about yourself so you can grow closer. For me, a lot of challenges and these trust falls, they bring me closest to God. You know, there were times where I lived alone for many years. I stayed away from relationships forever because, you know, I was so scared to mess up or whatnot, right? Or share myself or open up with myself, you know, and open up my heart or open up my soul. But I also learned that getting into a relationship helped me learn so much about what needs to be healed, what I need to work on, you know, and it's just, don't take yourself so seriously, but gain the wisdom, grow from it, learn from it. And I just want you guys to know, if anyone hasn't told you today, I love and appreciate you so much. And we have to send so much love to our haters, because the truth of the matter is they're really your fans, and they really are amazing people. And I'm sure you wanted to show them that, but maybe they weren't ready to learn that about themselves. Maybe you saw something in them that they couldn't see for themselves. If you're on my channel, you can see everyone's potential, but that doesn't mean they can see that for themselves. And that's up to them to create that. You know, if they kick you to the curb, they found something better, then good, because we love them. We want them to be happy. Yes, it's heartbreaking. Yes, it's devastating, all of that. But at the end of the day, you see the bigger picture. You overstand that everyone needs to go into what they need to go into to gain the wisdom. And so just be gentle with yourself, okay? And continue to love yourself. And I'm proud of you for setting boundaries and staying true to what you think is right. Because sometimes when you're a curse breaker, a generational curse breaker, seeing behaviors, maybe at the workplace, at the home, whatever it is, that is not going to help your family to grow, yourself to grow. It's not going to be nurturing for all humans to grow. It can be a big thing, because a lot of people, you know, they lie to themselves. They keep the blindfold on because they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to be the villain. They don't want to. They just want to keep the peace. But keeping the fake peace creates a lot of, trauma, creates a lot of pain, sets people back from becoming who they are. They become controlled by a puppeteer or by someone who, is not healthy, someone who's doing rituals on them. They're unbeknownst to them, which is going the opposite from the Most High, and then they become confused and fragmented and lose parts of their soul. When you're not being true to yourself and your conference call, your inner knowing, you are actually doing the most disservice to you and your higher self, right? You're creating burdens. But if you're honest with yourself and you live in your truth, you're always going to get the justice, baby, and you're always going to get the love, and you have nothing to worry about. I hope this brought you guys some clarity and some love and some light.